Alright, so in another video we talked about the mechanics of the single leg squat, and I also have a longer, like 15-minute video that has all this stuff packed together if you just want to hear the original ramble. But I want to focus in on developing the single leg squat. A lot of people think this is cool and it's fun, and if you don't have any knee problems, you don't have like a torn meniscus or anything like that, no mechanical defects in the physical structure of the knee itself, then there's really not any good reason why you shouldn't consider training for this if you think it's cool. I would caution people with torn menisci that this is probably not the best idea. I just don't think that there's much for you to gain out of it, and there's a lot of risk. You have an inherently less stable knee, and you're asking it to perform an inherently unstable exercise. That's usually not a good idea, especially when you can get all the same strength from split squats and everything else. But these look cool, so if you want it, you know, just understand you do have a greater risk of injury. Which is why, I mean, I can do these on my left leg, I'll never do them again on my right. I have a damaged lateral meniscus. Why should I do that to myself? It's stupid. Okay, so I don't. You have to be smart about your training. So, what I've written up here is very simple and should be pretty obvious. When you're squatting on one leg, your one leg is holding your entire body with the exception of the weight of the lower leg and foot. And what that means, realistically, if you multiply that, is that you need to be able to squat twice your body weight minus the weight of both lower legs in order to have the strength that you need on one leg, right? It's just a doubling, right? Which means that if you want to build raw strength, it's a really good idea to use bilateral squats, right? The common squat. And if you know how to learn it, an Olympic lifting squat is going to be better than a powerlifting squat, but not by that much. It will be better, make no mistake. Just not by a huge amount, okay? So either way is fine. Just make sure that you learn how to hit parallels safely, and you will get what you need. If you're doing half squats and you're only going down as far as this guy, well, enjoy your crappy results. So, and the reason is that you're not going to be engaging the hip musculature, and as you get down here, guess what? Glutes, medial glutes, all the hip rotators on the inside of the joint, I mean not literally inside the capsular space, but it's surrounding obturators and gemellus and all that stuff that you don't know or care about. They're all working really hard. And they're a big part of maintaining knee stability as well as keeping your body from just flip-flopping around and letting you damage your joints or just fall over because you got no control. Proper squatting, hitting that depth, will train all of those muscles pretty well. And it'll give you a good foundation to go into this. So I do recommend that you build up to a good back squat. If you don't want to do back squats, you can do single leg squats. And you can check out my focus on single leg squat video where I explain the progressions and kind of how you go along and what you would go and what you're going to do when and why. And we'll cover the setup, set and rep progressions, and how to progress in weight. Now, you can just do this directly, but know that you are basically training close to your strength threshold in an unstable environment. I just want you to think about that. Do you want to train in an unstable environment close to your strength threshold, or do you want to train in an unstable environment with a strength surplus that ensures somewhat better stability? If you can't figure out what I think, I'll spoil it for you. You should be training with a surplus. And that is why this is a very good idea. You should really consider building up to, I would say, at least 5 reps with your body weight on a barbell. Because what that does, there's something called a bilateral deficit. When you do something with just one leg, you get about, I believe it's something like 10% more strength out of that leg or arm than you do if you're using both at the same time. So we need to build that in. And so magically, that kind of compensates for that whole lower leg taking away from the doubling business of body weight minus half of a leg, something like that. So just keep it simple. If you can do 5 to 6 reps of your body weight, hitting parallel or below with good form, okay, you will not have a big problem transitioning into pistol squats. All right, now body construction, as we talked about in the other video that focuses on pistols, will make a difference. But if you're unable to do things because you've got a construction that really doesn't favor being able to do these without weight, just hold a weight in front of you. People think that doing things with extra weight is cool anyways, and it is. So why not make the exercise functionally more difficult for the muscles by adding weight while also changing physics to where instead of falling over on your back, you stay on your feet and actually complete the exercise appropriately without being in an extreme situation that produces just ridiculous amounts of joint stress, right? All the strength, much less risk, smarter move, okay? So that's it, that's what we're all about here, and I don't know, that's really it. So tell me what you think, subscribe to the channel, and give me your comments. It doesn't really matter if it's related or not, just let them fly. Peace. Okay, so here I just want to give a quick recap of everything we said. Remember what we just talked about with all the body mechanics. The fix if you have less favorable body mechanics is very simple. Hold weight. It will move your center of mass forward and slightly up, which basically is going to keep the center of mass over your foot, giving you a good base instead of leaving you with no effective base at all. And that's going to be the difference between you having an effective workout and staying on your feet, or just falling over and feeling dumb and wondering why you can't do pistols. For a fair number of people, adding the weight can be an excellent bridge into eventually not needing the weight. And what you would do is start by holding the weight far away, and instead of increasing the weight, you would hold it closer and closer and closer to your body, and eventually over time learn to have the weight like above your head and like sitting on your head, like you're talking like 10 pounds, nothing crazy. And eventually you would then reduce that to 9 pounds, 8 pounds, whatever, and over time you'd be able to work yourself down to where you don't need the weight at all. And some people will be able to do that, some won't, so don't freak out either way. You're not cheating, you're not doing anything wrong. Sometimes you're just not built to do certain things without a counterbalance. So use one.